Hello, welcome back to the Reading Mama. My name is Heather, and today I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of my reading journal, kind of an update for January. Brand new to this, so please don't judge. It's horrible. I get it, but I'm having fun, and so that's what matters. Like I said in my very first video, this is just a cheap, this is not what this is meant for. I'm sure the binding is going to give out on me midway through the year, but hey, we're just working with what we have. So I have my goals listed out, and I share about those more in another video. I'm trying to be more proactive about reading bedtime stories with my kids, reading one nonfiction per month, trying to get to at least 50 on my physical TBR, having an author of the year, George MacDonald, and journaling monthly. So far I've done this and this. I've read several of these. This is still working, and so is this one. So first up, I have my physical TBR, and I just left them blank. I have over 100 books on my physical TBR here in my home. And so as I finish them, I write them in, and then I color code them with what genre they are. And so I'm working on that. Eventually, I'm going to put the books that I finish here for George MacDonald. And I'm working on this up. This is just a list for me to remember some of my favorite authors that I would hope to read maybe this year. Maybe not, but they're there. Then I have my book bracket with my favorite book of the month, which if you saw my monthly recap from the other day, that's The Crown of Chains by Erin Phillips was my favorite book of the month. And then here, this is like my totals page. So I'm still working on figuring this out because I was going to count pages, and then I'm like, I don't do that. I do so many audiobooks, it doesn't make sense to count pages. So I may put something there, might leave it blank, we'll see. And then I have physical, digital, and audio, and however many I DNF. Then I have the A to Z challenge, which is pretty good. I got 4 books. I probably could add a few more on there, but I kind of wanted to leave a few open because it's only January, you know? I read the world and did not read very far this month because I read a lot of fantasy, but I have Vietnam and Korea and England over there covered. Read Your Bookshelf Challenge with Chantel. I used The Princess Bride for something with an article in the title. And then for Alma, at Alma's book journey, hers was one in biblical or ancient times, and I did The Hidden Prince by Tessa Afshar. That was wonderful. And then I have my perfect pairings that I'm working on for myself. And so I have just written in pencil in some of the ideas of what I want to read. Over here, once I finally finish them, I'll list them. I have a picture of this one here because that is definitely going to be my nonfiction because I'm reading it for school with my kids. And then I have, because I had 2 options for perfect pairings, fiction and nonfiction. And then I had one by age. And so for this month, I read one that was for middle grade, and then one that is an adult set during Vietnam and Vietnam War. And then I have my indie book club challenge where Chantel reads all day, and I'll just highlight them as I finish them. Read The Between the Shadows. I really enjoyed it. I have tropes bingo, and I'm trying to decide. So I've already told myself I'm not going to put any YA titles on here, but I don't know, like, should I mark them off? Should I just cross them out? Should I write the title? I don't know. So I have the titles penciled in so that I can then decide what to do with that one. These are ongoing books that I'm reading for Mother's Education. And here is my goal of 100 books for the year. I kind of set that because obviously I'm going to hit that really easily. I just read a lot of books. But I'm tracking whether they're physical, digital, audio, and then nonfiction and fiction. And it's just, like I said, I'm just kind of trying out a whole bunch of different things this year. And then whatever I like, I'll use next year. And whatever I don't, I won't. Here I'm classifying my genres, seeing how much I read. Fantasy, I'm going to run out of room. Let's just be honest. And then at the end of the year, I hope to come back and put my favorite book by genre. Here are total books read, and I already surpassed the amount of squares that I gave myself for January. Here I'm hoping to read 12 classics this year, and I don't have them written in because as I finish them, I'm going to write them in. So I started with Jane Eyre, and I'm going on to Count of Monte Cristo. I'm also trying to read through King Arthur books, and this is kind of a pet project. And so this may or may not have finished in the 2026 year, but I'm just trying to go through those. We're doing medieval studies with our homeschool next year, and so I'm going to put them here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this space, just kind of playing around with it. And then I have my reading log, which I am clearly going to have to add more pages because this is not going to be enough room. And you can see all the books I read in January. I had 28 books. And then here's January. So I tried this out. I didn't think I would like it, and I don't. For one, I read way too many books. And so it's like you highlight it what days you were reading that or how long it read. Yeah, I read too many books for it. I don't keep track of that, and it's just a pain. I ran out of colors, first of all. Then I have just my books, and I put little like note summaries for myself. I don't see myself printing out the pictures for them because that would just take too much time and energy, and I don't have like the little sticker thing, and don't really want to, I just don't want to mess with it. But I put them in little frames, and I think that looked out really cute. And then at the end, I have books that I bought. Obviously, it was a heavy buying month. Some of these are for school. Some are using up gift cards and whatnot. I have my 2 DNFs. Yeah, I really hated this one. This one was just too graphic. Yeah, this one was just really hated. And then I have the books I got from the library. So I really thought this worked out well. I'm trying to figure out how to do it in a better way to leave enough space. And so then that brings me to February. So I have, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna put over here yet, but I have my February chart to do. And so I will mark those off by putting the pictures there at the end of the month. I have a spot where I'm gonna put what I bought, library books, and DNF, which I'm purposely keeping small. I'm hoping not to DNF a ton. And then I probably will just, this month, list them as I finish them and not categorize them, because I had to wait till the end of the month to do that because I don't stick to my TBR and I'm a mood reader. I think I'm just gonna list the book as I finish it. But we'll see. That's kind of what I'm doing, is I think having it written out, like it looks really pretty this way, but I had to wait until the end of the month to categorize them in the right places, because I did like nonfiction, and then I did classics, and then I did middle grade, and then I did YA fiction, and then I did all the others, and I just, well, it looks nice. I couldn't write it as I went, and I'd really like to write it as I go. But I also don't want to write a ton. Like, I'm not writing like a page for each book, because that's just not me. But I don't know. So that is my January journal. I do have more at the back. I have my Sanderlanche of my Sanderson books, and I finished the Mistborn series, and I am going to go on to Arcanum Unbounded, but I'm only going to read part of it, and then I'm going to try to read Warbreaker and Elantris, and then I will decide whether or not I'm going to do Wax and Wayne or Stormlight. And then I have my pre-reads, and you can see I'm starting to make this. This is for our homeschool. And then I have some of my favorite modern women authors on here. So Ellen McGinty, Erin Phillips, Victoria McCombs, Robin Hobb, and Tessa Afshar are on there so far. I may add some more. Favorite first lines. I didn't really have any this month. Great book, but they didn't all have amazing first lines. And so I put Happy Birthday Hamish from Sunrise on the Reaping because it makes me bawl when I read that. And then if you keep going and go to my TBR, and I am just keeping it super simple by listing out my challenges: Read Your Bookshelf, Journey Through Time, Indie Book Challenge, my Sanderson book of the month, and then my A Mother's Education books. Then I have other books, my challenge for the month, classic that I'm going to work on, and my perfect pairs. And you can see I wrote this out, and I hadn't finished Jane Eyre yet, and I hadn't finished Share of the Ages, but I did finish those now. So those are off, and yeah, I'm on to the next things. So yeah, that is my reading journal. So thanks for watching.